Boy, what a day we got going on. Let's go. Who's excited? New Smash Bros. DLC character. I know some people are still like, it's Byleth, no thanks. Look. As a Smash Bros. Fan, we're getting new toys to play with. A new character, new Mii costumes, new music to mess around with. Hopefully some patch notes. If there's patch notes and, you know, some characters get some buffs, maybe some get some nerfs, I'll probably put out a video about that later today whenever I get a chance to. But hey, it's a great day. New Smash Bros. Content is almost here. Or maybe it is here. I don't know. They didn't give us an official time of when he's dropping. So hopefully he already dropped or he's dropping very soon. Whatever it might be. But plus, we got a brand new matchup in the tournament with 2 brand new characters. This is great. So, yeah, if you haven't seen the channel, or at least this series yet, check out the channel, please. But if you haven't seen the series, 100 characters are put into a tournament each day on the channel. I upload one of the matches, except for Sundays. Then we talk about the 2 characters down in the comments. I might go over maybe some facts, maybe a mini moveset pool for the character on how they could potentially work. And then we'll vote between one of the 2 characters down in the comments. But voting is a part of the overall rules, so I'll just throw all the rules on screen for you guys so you can read them really quickly. Alright, you can see the rules, so I'm just going to run through them very, very quickly. Rule number 1, yes, this is for fun. Bars. I can rap. No, I can't. But yeah, rule number 1 is a rule for a reason. Just think of it this way. Vote for who you personally want between the 2 characters. Not who's more likely, but who would you personally pick. So, like, it doesn't matter if they're an assist trophy, a spirit, character that's disconfirmed, a Mii costume. None of that matters for this tournament. It's all for enjoyment purposes. Vote for who you personally want. That's how I want you to vote, alright? But do remember, you only get 1 vote per person. You are allowed to vote for both characters, however. If you really do like, or if you're having a difficult time deciding who to vote for, you can vote for both. But the way to vote is simply typing the name of the character that you are voting for down in the comment section. Pretty simple stuff, but remember, 1 vote per person. Otherwise, the rest of the rules, double elimination tournament, meaning a character has to lose twice before being officially eliminated. Once we get to the results to determine winner and loser of each matchup, if there happens to be a tie, we're just going to flip a coin on camera. Fairest way to break a tie. And then each matchup, voting-wise, only lasts for just 1 week. So you get 7 days from once the matchup gets uploaded. You have 7 days to get your votes in. If your vote comes in after that, the vote just doesn't count. Alright, simple stuff there. So that's the rules. Let's get on to the rest of the matchup, shall we? Alright, so let's go over the results from last week. And, again, coming from the loser bracket, somebody's being eliminated today. And the matchup from last week was Dr. Eggman, who was taking on Hat Kid. That's who it was. Taking on Hat Kid. And the winner of this one was Daddy Mustache himself. What did I just say? Daddy, what? How about, let's try that again. The Eggman Empire ended up winning. Daddy what? I don't even know. Eggman Empire. Dr. Eggman ended up winning this one. 40 votes to just 12. So Hat Kid gets eliminated. Eggman comes through pretty big time there. So congrats to Eggman. Moves on for at least 1 more matchup. Never going to say Daddy Mustache again after this. No, not saying that. But yeah, congrats to Eggman. Unfortunately, Hat Kid's eliminated very quickly. I did see a couple people that kind of said, yeah, Hat Kid seems more like a Mii costume than anything. So I don't know. If Hat Kid gets in, maybe that happens to be the route that they take with the character. I don't know. We'll see in due time, ultimately, right? But let's move on to the matchup. We have a good matchup. I'm very interested to see how this one goes. These are the 2 characters that end up replacing Byleth and Cuphead in the tournament. So today's matchup, Klonoa. I think that was the character I've seen the most when asking you guys for replacements. And then Klonoa's opponent, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. So, yeah, I say we just jump into this. So, who's up first? Klonoa. Alright, so Klonoa. Let's see. This, Bandai, Namco, whatever you want to call it, the company. Look, a lot of people, I think most of us are on board with the idea and the fact that Bamco, whatever the company, Bandai Namco. I think we're all on board that they deserve a second playable rep on the roster at this point because they only have Pac-Man. Pac-Man's a great character. I really love it. I think they did a tremendous job with Pac-Man. And I just, out of respect, that kind of thing, for how much they've really helped Nintendo, I think they deserve a second character. So how about Klonoa? Now, how could Klonoa work? Oh, quick little fun fact. Klonoa's hat. Not my hat. Klonoa's hat. It's got the Pac-Man symbol eating the pellet. That's pretty cool, right? I looked at that and like I've seen it before, but like it never really hit me until like I somebody read or somebody pointed it out and I go, whoa, that's actually true. So that's kind of cool. Klonoa repping Pac-Man up on his hat. That's kind of a cool little tie into the company, right? But let's go moveset, and this is where I think Klonoa could be pretty unique. So again, Sakurai did emphasize the fact that every character has, or so far every DLC character's had like a special aspect to their character. They've had a unique, whatever it might be, to their play style. And I think Klonoa would not be any different. I think there's some good potential here. And what do I mean by potential? So, really quick, moveset wise, I wrote down some notes because as I was writing these down, I started thinking, I'm like, actually, this could be kind of cool. So, a couple movesets, real quick. So, Klonoa does have access to some projectiles, like wind projectiles. Shoots out like a wind bullet. It basically, a gust of wind or something similar to that. I'm going somewhere with the wind. You'll see. We got tornado attacks. That could be like a down special. A down smash, maybe. Basically creates like a big tornado, and it will kind of like gobble people up, suck them into the tornado, spit them up. Maybe that'd be an up special instead of down. Whatever. Could be something like that. What else did I have? Wind blade. So, essentially kind of a sword, but don't focus too much on, oh great, another sword user. No, not sword user whatsoever. I'm still going somewhere with the wind, you'll see. And then like, wind boomerang, that could be like a neutral special. Chuck a little wind. So, here's where I'm going with the wind, and the fun aspect that would come, the mechanic that Klonoa would have. It would be all revolved around wind. Okay, I'll explain more. But, wind. What does wind do? Wind blows, it pushes things away, it can suck some people in, it can suck items in, whatever it might be. So what about a character that's all about really spacing your opponent or closing the gap on your opponent? So for example, wind projectiles, like the wind bullets, wind shots, I don't know what to call them properly, but you fire off the wind projectile, and as it's going towards your opponent, once it gets, I'm not going to say you're standing half the length of Final Destination and you fire off a wind pellet. It's going to start blowing your opponent away, right? No, I'm saying once it gets fairly close, it's going to have sort of an effect where it starts pushing the enemy, pushing your opponent just a little bit. But then obviously once it makes impact, it will deal some damage. So it's got like a little bit of a push effect, and it'd be kind of interesting, right? The wind boomerang, I think, could have the same sort of effect, where you throw it, and as it's going towards the opponent, maybe it might have that tiny bit of pushing power. Or if they end up like ducking it, obviously it's a boomerang and it's going to come straight back. So if the boomerang's coming back at the backside of the opponent, it's going to start pushing them towards Klonoa a little bit, and then you could use that to start up some sort of combo. Maybe the wind blades or more projectiles, something like that. Could be kind of fun. And what else did I have? I kind of explained the tornado a little bit. Up special, or up smash, or down smash, whatever you use it. Basically a big tornado. It has a pretty good amount of lag, I'd have to assume, if it's going to be a big attack. Basically, you create this giant tornado, and it, like I said, it's going to suck people in, and then just spit them out the top. So I think just the aspect, or something, the mechanic of moving your opponent with maybe not every attack, because I'm going to say Klonoa's got to have a couple jabs, I don't know, drop kick, kicks, shoulder tackle, something like that, couple melee attacks, but a lot of the moves are going to revolve around moving your opponent either a little further away from you or bringing them a little bit closer to you so it's either closing the gap or you're really trying to distance yourself from your opponents. I think that could be, that would be something we don't have necessarily, a move set that really focuses on, actual like placement of characters. You want to push your opponent. If you got a rush down sort of enemy and you just start chucking some projectiles, maybe the boomerang or the wind bullet, whatever it is, you're going to start distancing yourself. And then once they do start rushing you down again, they might start thinking twice about it, and then you hit them with something else in the arsenal. But I think a wind kind of move set would be pretty unique. You know, I kind of like that idea. I like that idea. But let's talk about this guy, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. So been around for a while. I believe he did have a game on the Game Boy Advance for sure. So he's been on Nintendo consoles, Nintendo platforms. So there's not really an issue with that. So Ty, what could he do? Ty, speaking of boomerangs, I think that's where his moveset would really revolve around. Boomerangs. And you're like, all right, what can you really do with a lot of boomerangs? Well, you're going to have your typical jabs. He'll probably have his couple punches and kicks, but you could actually use the boomerang. Not throwing the boomerang, not quite yet, but like you could use it as an actual weapon. Maybe a little up tilt. You just kind of like, I don't know, swing the boomerang up or whatever, something like that. You get an idea. You just actually hit somebody with the boomerang without throwing it. But then comes the fun part where you actually have all these different sort of boomerangs, and you're like, how many boomerangs can there be? He's got a lot at his disposal. Just to name a few, he's got like elemental type boomerangs. So you could have some fire, you have ice, you got zap. I think he's got poison, if I'm not mistaken. Multi-boomerang, so chuck out a few of them at a time. You got the zoomerang. So like, I don't know if he could have something that just a quick thought when I'm picturing this, maybe his neutral would be, or maybe like a down special. Let me just, I'll go with neutral. His neutral attack could be something along the lines of Shulk, where Shulk's got the Monado arts and then you pick one. Maybe Ty has something similar where he picks a boomerang and then, side special, he chucks the boomerang, and, it's going to have a little added effect of, if you choose the fire, obviously it's going to be flame meringues, fire meringues. I don't know, whatever you want to call them, but a lot of added effects. And then the boomerangs will have the added effects. So you hit somebody with the fire meringue, the flame meringue, I don't know. It'll do an extra little bit of, fire damage. So you get hit with the boomerang, and then, your opponent is on fire for a couple seconds, and they take repeated damage. Kind of pretty simple with that. You got the freeze, self-explanatory. You get hit with it. You get frozen for half a second to 2 seconds, whatever it might be. You got the zap. It's going to stun them. You got the poison. Again, sort of a burn effect, added, racks up damage over time sort of deal. You got the multi-boomerangs where you can chuck them forward. Obviously, you're going to chuck them forward. But you could also be able to chuck them backwards, maybe diagonal, kind of control how it goes. And since they do have the boomerang item in the game, they already have kind of boomerang sort of physics, if you want to call it that. Like if you play with items on and you play with the stupid boomerang, I hate it, by the way, because if you accidentally pick it up and you throw it, it always freaking comes back to me, and I'm trying to get rid of it. It won't leave me alone. But I'm just saying, the boomerang itself, they already have that sort of physics, so throwing it, and whether Ty's jumping wherever he goes, the boomerang is always going to come back to him. So it's kind of a cool idea. I like the idea of, different elemental types of attacks and just added effects. So it'd be kind of cool. I believe he can chomp as well, bite sort of attacks. But I don't know. Like, both these characters are kind of really slept on, but maybe that's for a reason. I don't know. Like, when I look at these characters, they both kind of, they excite me a little bit. It's like, all right, I could picture them in Smash Bros. I think they fit very well, but I don't know. Does Nintendo feel the same way? We don't know. But for this one, I probably have to go with Klonoa on this one. Klonoa gets my vote. I like just the whole wind-based sort of moveset and moving your opponent and bringing them in, whatever it might be. I like stuff like that, so Klonoa gets my vote in this one. Let me know who you guys are voting for down in the comments, Klonoa or Ty or both. All are great options. Keep in mind, they are a part of the loser bracket, so one of these characters is only getting one match, and then they're eliminated from the tournament. It's just how it plays out, sorry. But, yeah. Otherwise, that is it for this one. Little sneak peek for tomorrow. Tomorrow's matchup. We have... Ooh, Dempsey. I think Dempsey, isn't this your, like, #1 character? Or at least one character you really want. Sceptile is back tomorrow in the matchup. And Sceptile's opponent happens to be Impa from Legend of Zelda. So Pokemon against Zelda. Pretty big matchup there. And then the results for tomorrow will be... Monster Hunter, who is taking on Arlay. So we'll see the winner and losers of that, and then obviously we'll talk about the matchup tomorrow. But anyway, today's wrapping up. I hope you guys enjoyed as always, and hopefully we catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, everybody.